Hey, what is the deal, YouTube? What is the deal? It is Thursday, December, let me check here, 14th, 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, last night, a bright light shone down on me, and it said, will you please become the Messiah of Xbox? And as I looked upon the YouTube brethren and I clicked on the button to just check on the channel, we have indeed met the threshold. And I had an outer body experience. And it was the most beautiful outer body experience ever known to man. And I will in 2 weeks ascend to becoming the Messiah of Xbox. It is a great honor as I will lead the Xbox community through the wilderness of no games and a brand new hardware console. So we will look forward to that. The Pope job will become open. It will be an open forum on who wants to be the new Pope of Xbox. I will ascend to the Messiah chamber, and all will be peaceful. Well, except for the front row riders. The first order that the Messiah of Xbox will do is he will lay slayed waste to the people in the Xbox community that have predicted such things as 1080p 60 and having a conference that so far is not happening right now. So, but yes, we have reached 500 subs. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. When I went and saw that Star Trek movie, Beyond, that was like the first day I'd ever done a podcast. So the fact that there's 500 more people, and these are real physical people, and of course, the sub count will always change. This is not being done for the subs. So, but the fact that it is over 500 or right at 500, it may be 493 when I come home tomorrow. So, but somebody's going to unsub. But you understand that when the channels are going, that you're going to have people sub, unsub, get mad, come back. It's the way it is. This is the way this thing works. You tell people the truth, either they accept truth or they don't. But as Messiah, it will be nothing but the truth. It has been nothing but the truth as the Pope of Xbox. So, speaking of that, there should be nominations going out for the Pope for Popehood. And throwing my hat behind either J-Dub City or Supersonic Wolf. And one of those two should ascend to Popehood. But we'll have to wait and see if they accept it. But shout out again to all the subs. I mean, my goodness gracious, the new subs that have come over the last 2 to 3 weeks, the older subs that have been here from the beginning. I mean, you know who you are. So just some of the original subs, everybody else out there in the communities that are keeping it gaming, the comic book and movie people that have come here. I certainly do appreciate it. So everybody's like, well, how come you podcast every day? You don't hardly play your games. I'm like, no, I still play my games, not as long as I used to play my games. I used to play I was mainly a weekend warrior, and I would play anywhere from 4 to 7 hours Saturday and Sunday. But I don't really do that anymore. I play during the week a little bit more now. I'll be at work sometimes. My girl, she'll be at work sometimes. So my gaming schedule this weekend will be, I'll probably won't play again until Saturday because I got to work tonight. like I've said before. So I will not be playing tonight. And then we got Star Wars to do tomorrow. We're going to go back and check that out. It opens tonight at 7 p.m., at least in my city. There's already spoilers out online. I can't stand people to do spoilers before the movie even comes out. I think it is inconsiderate as hell. At least wait till the following week to start posting spoilers. I mean, that's unfair to a lot of people who people are in school, their kids may want to go see it, and you're online spoiling it. Now, I know what you're going to say. Well, you don't have to watch, but it's still inconsiderate for you to do it. At least wait till the first weekend. Then post spoilers Sunday night at whatever, 5 o'clock, start posting spoilers. So, but that's just my opinion on that. And I wanted to give a big shout out to Sick Humor, who came on yesterday, Ryan the Professional, who came on, J Dub, who came on yesterday. That was all short notice. Nothing was planned. So big shout out to those brothers for doing that. Also, go check out Ryan the Professional's channel. He just did an interview with Randall Thor. I believe that was yesterday, the man with $1 million. So it's just it was a good interview, very straightforward. Those guys chopped it up really good, a lot of good stuff. So go check that out. And but yeah, this big shout out to everybody. Big shout out to whoever won the Project Scorpio yesterday from J-Dub City. I see you over there in the chat, J-Dub. So yeah, big shout out to the gentleman that won that, or lady that won it. I hope you all enjoy it. It's not a bad console. It's just there's not a whole lot out for it, and it is what it is. The Xbox One S does the exact same things. You can play the exact same games with the same people within the same ecosystem. And the Xbox One S is still on sale, I believe, for like $189. And you can actually go to pawn shops here in my city and get an Xbox One S for like $150. And that's 1 terabyte. They don't care if it's 500 gigs or 1 terabyte. They don't know the difference anyway. So I mean, it is what it is. So shout out to everybody. Yeah, Top Dog, I see you, brother. I Die. Yeah, MPD is today, and it's not out yet. And I'm pretty neutral on MPD. I personally think that Xbox should win MPD. They got new hardware. I mean, if you look at that, when the Switch came out, Switch has won MPD almost every month, maybe every month since it's been out. I mean, I don't know if it's won every month, but I know it's dominated, and it's because it's new hardware. So new hardware should be just that. So, my Xbox news, I'll get that out of the way first. PUBG has sold, at least in the first offering, close to 500,000 copies were downloaded. Now you can make the argument that close to 1,000 got returned. I don't know, but overall they've had a successful launch as far as they had no problem with people getting the downloads and stuff like that. But the game itself, and again, I haven't played it. I'm not going to, because you're basically paying to be a beta tester. But from what I have seen, and then from the people I've talked to that have physically played the game is a disaster. It doesn't run very well at all. There's pop-ins. There's I don't know what you call it when your character's blinking. There's people moving across the field and their character just starts to blink all of a sudden, like the band Blink 182. So it's just but it's so you take it for what it is. I would think though you couldn't call something a beast and then it be running at 18 frames per second. So that's just my opinion though. I mean, at 18 frames per second, this generation, unacceptable. So some things you expect, some, games that are 30, you can expect a drop to 25, maybe once in a while, and maybe 27 with a quick correction. But at 18 frames, that's terrible. I mean, that's a disaster. So, but a couple people I talked to, you heard them, said it was fun, and that's ultimately what you want to be having while you're while you're playing. It's just, you're a beta tester, and like people have said, you're beta testing the game, and then the complete game will come out to the other console. So they will. So all you're doing is you're getting early access. The good thing is that if you're into building and watching them improve the game itself, you'll see the steady improvements that they make in the game. So you'll see the steady improvements. So so that's good. That is good if you're into that. But I would be going crazy, So yeah, but that's just me though. That is just me. So all right, J-Dub, I see you there in the chat. Who was the lucky person to win the that won the Xbox yesterday? So we can I want to give him a big shout out again. So, so yeah, that's the Xbox news in a nutshell. There's as far as NPD, yeah, NPD's due out today or tomorrow. Today, and it'll be later on today. Like I said, I'll be at work. I won't know who won until Saturday morning, and I'll do my NPD show Saturday morning on who won. So it'll be old. I'll be Johnny come lately, I know. So wow, it's 4 frames per second. That's a little bit less. Yeah, it is. That's bad, man. That's bad. So yeah, this is the first podcast as being the Messiah of Xbox. It feels a little bit different, but as Messiah, like I said, you gotta, I gotta now do some different things. So one thing I'm looking into doing next year, 2018, is I'm looking into launching a blog. Okay, I'm just looking into it. I had no idea what a blog is. It sounds like something cool. It sounds like something that can be done from home, and it'll be mostly on movies and games and stuff like that. And that's in some politics too. And but I'm looking into doing that. It's just not now. That's just down the road. As far as the T-shirts are concerned, I heard back from them yesterday. I'm the only thing I'm waiting on is to possibly pull the trigger on the NPD December or NPD November edition shirt, if depending on who wins NPD. So if Microsoft wins NPD, I'll start contacting people on when I'll be sending their shirts out to them, because there'll be no reason to do the special editions. If Sony wins NPD, which then yeah, the shirts are going to literally say 4.2 greater than 6. And on the back, it will say the beast is slayed. That's all it'll say. So, and that's what that shirt will say. So, vlog or a normal web blog. I don't know. I'm looking into both. I need to give a shout out to a guy that I follow, John Campia. He used to be with Collider. I've been a fan of his since his AMC days, movie talk days. He now has a vlog. And but he's got a bunch of subs. Let me make that clear. He's got over 100,000 subs. So I don't know I don't know how that works. I don't know how, so again, that's something down the road in 2018 I'm looking to work on. So NPD, it was won by Xbox. Okay, well, cool. So that's fine, So a little bit Mo shirt. The little bit Mo shirts, those are pretty much are getting done. But I'm waiting to see if there's going to be another shirt that I can do. So but that'll be a special order shirt. That won't be a freebie. Okay, that shirt you will have to pay for. That will be a special order shirt. So like I said, on that shirt, it'll say 4.2 greater than that little symbol, then 6, and on the back, it will say the beast has been slayed or beast slayed or something like that. So Porter Rock 77 is in trouble. That's true. Okay. So, yeah, I don't think the numbers, as far as, like I said, NPD, I'm pretty neutral on. Look, to me, Microsoft, because it's new hardware, they should be doing that. So they should win. So that's all I can say. So if you can't win with new hardware, and even if Sony does win NPD this month, Microsoft, in theory, should win it this month in December. So, but that's Literally, that's all I can really say. It's new hardware. It should be outselling the stuff. That's all I can say. The software should be selling more on the new hardware. You see what I'm saying? That should match. That should go hand in glove, key to lock, however you want to put it. So if it doesn't, then Microsoft, yeah, that they could be in trouble. But I have to wait and see. Lemonade, even though it's cold outside. All right, so let's get into the movie news. I mean, I'm sure you woke up and you saw what happened. It was all over the place. I'll start with the Sony movie news with this Venom movie. If you don't know, Venom is part of the Spider-Man universe. He's a symbiote that attaches to Peter Parker's suit. So with that movie news, that's going to have Tom Hardy in it. And it actually, they just cast Woody Harrelson yesterday or day before yesterday. So, but they're looking to try to do this movie and it not have anything to do with the MCU. So what it looks like they're going to be doing is they're going to be doing the Venom storyline where he is like Agent Venom. And basically they find the symbiotes, they do some experiments to the symbiotes, them being the government, and the symbiotes actually spawns off 4 or 5 evil Venoms, and they escape. And then, so it may not be all 5 of them. It may be 2 of them, but one of them that does escape is going to be Carnage, Maximum Carnage. If you all follow the Spider-Man comic books, you know who Maximum Carnage is, you know. So, and so that's what it looks like they're doing. And also, they also the movie will be happening in another city because in the comic books, Peter Parker defeats Venom, but says, "I'll leave you alone, but you can't be in New York City." So after he leaves New York City, in the comics he goes to San Francisco, but we'll have to wait to see how that goes. So, and we'll just wait and see. It's no big deal. But again, the movie is going to be done. I don't know how it's going to work, but it's going to be done. So, and again, it's through Sony. So, and remember, Sony owns the Spider-Man property. So they own Spider-Man, they own Venom, they own Miles Morales, they own all that. Okay, so that is their property that Sony owns, and they are sharing Spider-Man with Marvel. So what's going on, Fatal? So now let's move to the giant news. The news that I told you all had been happening. The news that I broke here is that Disney has officially bought Fox's movie studios. And then we're gonna look into what Disney now owns and what they don't own. Okay. With the purchase, we'll start with sports first. Disney now owns 20 to 22 local Fox Sports affiliates, okay? That's what they own. They do not own Fox Business, Fox News, Fox Sports 1, and Fox Sports 2. They don't own that. They do own the local Fox affiliate. So if you have a game, a football game, whatever, and it's on your local Fox affiliate, that symbol will switch from a Fox logo to a ESPN or ABC logo. Okay. They also, this is what they do own. They also own Sky News. Okay. They bought part of this merger or deal, whatever you want to call it, is they bought Sky News. So a lot of the stuff you see on Sky will be there, including the sports network. So you'll have Sky News that used to be owned by Fox, by Rupert Murdoch and the Murdoch Group. Now that's gone. It's now owned by Disney. Okay. So so soccer games or football, they would call it overseas, lacrosse, what else is shown? Australian rules football. That all comes on Sky. That's now owned by Disney. Okay. That's the sports stuff that they own. Let's move into the big stuff now that everybody's been talking about, okay? We'll move into, again, what they don't own is Fox Business. They don't own Fox News. They don't own Fox Radio. They don't own Fox, Fox 1 or Fox 2. They don't own those things. Those things are still Fox, okay? So they don't own them at all. That's not going to change. So here's what they do own. They own Fox networks, okay? They bought television networks. So that is FX, all right? That is FXX, and that's regular Fox. Now, any property that's on those networks is now owned by Disney. Those properties include the Orville, whatever that new show is. They now own that. They now own The Simpsons, okay? Which is the longest running, and I think it's the longest running show on Fox. They own that now. They own, oh man, what else? They own Lucifer, okay? They own Gotham. Now understand this, because Disney owns Gotham, they own the TV rights. Let's make this clear. They own the TV rights to Batman and Robin. TV rights. They could, in theory, say, you know what? If Gotham stays on, we want to see Batman and Robin. Okay? This is for the people who watch Gotham. You could, in theory, see that. Okay? So you could, in theory, see that. They own The Gifted, okay, which is on Fox. That has something to do with the X-Men, all right? Well, we're getting to that. They own, that's what they own. So now, the Star Wars movies, okay, they still are trying to negotiate with George Lucas to get episodes 4, 5, and 6, okay? 4, 5, and 6. They still are wrangling with George Lucas because George Lucas, he don't want them converted to UHD. They're still trying to work a deal with him. So, but overall, the other Star Wars movies, they got episodes 1, 2, and 3. They got these, they already own episode 7, episode 8, in theaters tonight. So those will eventually get to come to UHD. So, yeah, Murdoch did say that. So the big news, as far as being a comic book person that follows comic book movies, the big news is that they own the X-Men properties now, and they own Fantastic Four. That was part of the deal. Originally, that they didn't know if they were going to get Fantastic Four because Fantastic Four is owned by, it's also owned by Constantine Films, and Constantine Films looks like right now they don't want anything to do with the X-Men anymore, or Fantastic Four, I should say. So because Fantastic Four is, they'll probably just sit down next year. Let's make this clear, next year. So, and they will go ahead and work some kind of deal out with Disney. It is what it is. But that's what they bought. This just happened. This deal is worth $62 billion. Most of that is in stock. All right. Disney also is now controlling partner of Hulu. They are the controlling big entity of Hulu. All right. And remember, all of this was done because the movie stuff is an afterthought. Disney is going into their own streaming service starting in 2019. 2018, they're launching the ESPN streaming service. That's going to be a stream service. So, so X-Men are back in Marvel Universe. DC imploded. The DCEU imploded last week. People got fired. people lost their jobs over at Warner. That's Warner Brothers. But remember, DC is some of DC stuff was owned by Fox. Like I said, the TV show Gotham, that was owned partially by Fox. Now Marvel has that, or Disney has that. So now they own the TV rights to Batman and Robin, because Batman used to be a TV show back in the 50s, or was it the 60s? Batman was a TV show, 50s, 60s. So so now they have that. So it's so anything you see on Fox, okay, doesn't matter what it is, it's now owned by Disney. All right, so because they own the X-Men characters, they also own Deadpool. They also own everything you saw in Deadpool. That's now in Disney owns that. So they own Fox Searchlight. They own everything. They got 90% of their properties back. Disney still does not have Spider-Man yet. Remember, that's owned by Sony, and Incredible Hulk is owned by Universal. So that's the way that's going. So, but that's, guys, that is that was it for that deal. Now, there's still a lot of stuff that has to be worked out, and what I just told you was preliminary, but this is the stuff that they have released. This is part of the press release. Everybody can go check it out. So, but does anybody have any questions about that deal? It is Q&A time. I know a lot of people are worried about the about Deadpool and how it's not going to be, but Deadpool 2 is in the can. Out. So is there was another one, the Fox the X-Men movie, Dark Phoenix. That's in the can too. That's in post-production. So that movie's done. So the New Mutants movie, that's pretty much finished. Nothing that's happening in 2018 is going to be affected. Nothing at all. 2019, we're going to have to wait and see. So 2019, we got to see. The deal was worth about over $60 billion, but that also includes the debt. Disney's also taking on the debt they incurred. So, and Bob Iger is still going to be there. Alan Horn is still going to be there. Yeah, Galactus is finally home. Yeah, they're all back. Galactus, Silver Surfer, all of them are back. So. So now, I mean, we're a long way off, but it does revive the Fantastic Four because that movie was trash. So we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. You know, we just have to wait and see how that goes. Yeah, that's a lot of cash. But if it makes any difference, Apple, the company, its cap this morning, its cap was close to $900 billion. That company is almost worth $1 trillion. That has never, that'd be the richest company in the history of since they monetized stuff. $900 billion was the opening cap. Oh, it may have been a little under that. So, you know. Yeah, so that's a big amount of cash. All home. So they're all home. So Disney, at this point, Marvel has the ability to put them all in movies together. They're not going to. They're not going to, but they have that ability. I mean, can you imagine a Black Panther in-credit scene where he is talking to Storm? Because now that can happen. They can actually go back and put that into the movie now because they own the property now. So, yeah, 900 billion. Yeah, I wish I had that. I wish I had 90. So, yeah, no, I don't like this cold weather at all either. So, but now we were supposed to get some big winter storm, and it hasn't hit yet. So, do you think we'll see? We're going to wait and see Fall of Duty. Are you talking about Franklin Reed Richards? Is that part of the thing? I can't remember that storyline. So, but we'll have to wait and see. I personally don't think they did it to get the to get the movie stuff as much as they're trying to get into the streaming things. Netflix is worth a lot of money at this point. So it sucked. Okay. All right. I'll take your word for it. So, but yeah, in theory, could you have a end credit scene? And who knows? I mean, well, I mean, the big thing now is going to be Comic-Con 2018. The big Comic-Con. Everybody is going to try to go to that now. Everybody's trying. I'm going to try to go to it now. So, oh yeah. Also, they own the Predator movie. Yeah, Disney owns the Predator movie now that's coming out. So, with the one that has the Back in Black tease trailer, that's owned by Disney now. So, I mean, it's amazing. So, yeah, shout out to Jody's Corner. Now Disney buys Fox for $52 billion. They're not including the debt though. Collider Videos is now breaking this story 28 minutes ago. It's all done. Comic Book Cast, he's uploaded Deadpool will remain R-rated at Disney. That's been confirmed. So that's okay. Yeah, they got the Predator. Yeah. Yeah. The Omega level mutant. Yeah, remember that Fox and Disney were at each other's throats so bad. Well, Fox and Marvel, you couldn't say the word mutant in the Marvel universe. That's why they had to say enhanced. But they can now say animanium in the MCU. They couldn't say that before. Just as if you go watch they can now say the word vibranium in the X-Men universe. So it's done. I mean, that part now, the rest of the deal, the international dealings, that's going to take, they said, about 20 months to get everything lined up. So, oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate that, G Junior. So, thank you, sir. Yeah, Fatal. I don't know. I didn't buy the game because the game was it's not a complete game as far as I'm concerned. But with that said, with PUBG, in my opinion, that's a disaster. But I would not have launched that game. But with that said, they did. It is in preview, and the people that have played it, they said they're having fun, and ultimately that's what matters. Let me pause right there. The people that are being made fun of are the people who claim that the beast was coming and stuff like that. The beast is not going to run something at whatever 12 to 15 frames per second. That's unacceptable. So look, can we just call the Xbox X what it is? It's a system that does a little bit more. And it's just, we need to accept that. It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's a horrible, look, I have one. It's not a horrible system. The reason why I packed mine up is because I only have, what's going on, Ryan? Great podcast you did yesterday with Randall Thor. Appreciate that podcast. That was really well done. The reason I packed my Xbox X up is because I only have one HDMI, or I have three HDMI outputs, but only one has HDR pass through. So I was unplugging the PlayStation, plugging in the Xbox, and vice versa. And that's not good for anything to constantly be unplugging and plugging. So so I just packed it up. Now when Xbox comes out with a exclusive game that I can only play on that system, I'm gonna plug it right back in. But they gotta hurry because Sony's 2018 is going to be loaded with a lot of games. I mean, there's still MLB The Show. MLB The Show, I mean, you think about it, they're going to have the Shadow of the Colossus game. They're going to have, followed by MLB The Show, okay? Followed possibly by a Spider-Man game, because you got to figure the Spider-Man game will come out either right before Infinity War or right after Infinity War, you know, so they've got a pretty packed spring going into summer. You still got Days Gone coming out. You got God of War coming out. I mean, you got a ton. You got the big update from shit. Let me read this message from J-Dub City. Hold on here. All that J-Dub. Crytek is suing the Star Citizen people, so it's getting messy. So that is getting messy. So Spider-Man will sell like hotcake. Yeah, it will. Hotcakes with butter and syrup and sausage on the side. I don't. Yeah, that's bringing in a whole other group of people. So, but my point is that you know, they've got a PAT 2018, and but that's why I unplugged mine. I didn't unplug it as an insult. It's not horrible. It's just what they want people to do is play a bunch of old games that they enjoy on the 360, which I get that. I totally get that. So, but that's not enough for me to keep it plugged in and to that slot. So, and so it is what it is. So, you know, get God in the show. So Crytek should sue Microsoft for abandoning Rise and not marketing it. Rise was the first game that Xbox showed, wasn't it, at E3 in 2013? Or was it? I can't. Either they showed Metal Gear first, Metal Gear 5, or Rise. I can't remember which game they showed first, but it was in the top two. So, and I know, and Rise, from what I understand, is a fun game. I thought they would have put a part 2 out. But there's just, if Crytek and Microsoft don't get along with each other, there's not going to be another Rise game. They could have sold a gazillion copies. I don't know. So they showed Metal Gear. Yeah, I couldn't remember if they showed it, but and you got to remember E3 when Microsoft showed Metal Gear 5, and they showed still wasn't Solid Snake. It was Big Boss. There still hasn't been a Solid Snake Metal Gear on a Microsoft system, but when they showed that game, that was about as close to Solid Snake as we were going to get. It was like, wow, I'm definitely buying this console. I'm definitely buying this console. Then it said $499, and I said, I'm definitely not buying this console. That was me. That was me. Then to compound it, the guy said it always had to be online, and you had to check in, and I mean, like, are you kidding me? The Spider-Man and God of War probably will push them over. I don't know, 30, because they're at 70 million now. That's still an awful lot of units to move by the end of the year. So I say by the end of its life cycle, the PS4 will be at 110 million units. So yeah, and I agree. Crytek, that's the problem with them is they got other problems. So 110. I disagree with 110 million. That's 40 million units this year. So, or next year. That's a shit ton of units. So it took them 2.5 years to sell that many units. But I guess anything's possible. But Spider-Man will be big. I'm not here to say that it won't be. Yeah, Spider-Man is going to do some business. I don't know if it's going to do 20 million units. So, I mean, units as far as new PlayStation sold. So, but we'll have to wait and see. It might. And it depends on when it comes out, too. Yeah, I agree with you. I 100%. I think it will sell a lot of units, but I don't know how many. So, to $99. Yeah, probably. If look, if they dropped it to $99, I would go buy another one. So yeah. But again, with the Xbox One X, it's just that's what they want us to do, and there's nothing. That's why you see them comparing Skyrim and Fallout 3. I mean, again, nothing against, or not Fallout 3. Fallout 4 came out 2 years ago. So did Rise of the Tomb Raider. Skyrim was what, 5 to 6 years ago. I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked Skyrim. I beat Skyrim I had that on the 360. That's how long ago that was. So yeah, I beat Oblivion and Skyrim and Fallout 3. All the Gears, all the Mass Effects. That was all 360. So what they're wanting people to do is, what they would like you to do is to go ahead and replay those games again. And it's like, okay, I don't like, I mean, I can't do that again. But I am, but that's why, and the system is $500, and I can do the same thing on the Xbox One S. So, so, oh, you didn't like Skyrim? All right. See, I liked it. You know, what I liked about Skyrim was the additions. You could go to Hammerfell and something like that. Now, what I wish they would do is just make one game and it be open world to the point where you could go to all those locations and do missions at all those places. So you could go to Cyrodiil and do missions. You could go to Skyrim. You go to Hammerfell. You could go to all of them and do missions and buy houses and have wives and kids in each one. Get your polygamy on. Well, Skyrim was hard to get into, but it had dragons, so I forgave a whole lot of it. But I enjoyed it. I thought the story in Oblivion was better than Skyrim, but I thought the action, well, the Dark Brotherhood missions in Oblivion, I thought were a hell of a lot better than Skyrim. So. You still haven't Fallout 4 in the plastic? You haven't? Okay. Fallout 4 is pretty much just like Fallout 3. It's almost the same game. A lot of it's the same story. So, yeah, I enjoyed Oblivion too. And it probably because of the I had never played a game like Oblivion before. The closest game that I saw that was like that was World of Warcraft. I mean, because Oblivion, you would go into the mountains and everything would change. You would go into you would go to different parts of the world, and the sky would look a lot different. It was amazing to see that world. So, but that was a long time ago. So, but yeah, I was a big Oblivion man. That's why when they said they were redoing Oblivion, they were gonna give it the 4K treatment. That's why I was like, oh, my initial thing was, oh, okay, well, to me, that makes the Xbox One X, that gives it more value. It still doesn't make it worth $500, but it still gives it value. So, yeah. Yeah, the Oblivion on the 360, yeah, by far was the biggest. I was like, wow, I definitely am glad I got a 360. Yeah, I agree with that. That and Rainbow Six, the first Rainbow Six games on the Xbox 360 for me was some of my most enjoyable time playing. You know, I remember that lineup I had at my house, and I think I just had Mass Effect 1 and 2. I had Fallout there. I had Oblivion there. I had the first Ghost Recon. I mean, you talk about a kid in heaven. That's why I would be playing so long. I played like all the games. You know, it was fun. So I don't know what a warp mechanic is. Who won MPD? I do not know. So they have not announced it yet. And like I said earlier, I 809. I'm pretty neutral on the MPD. I have to work tonight, and tomorrow I'm booked. So Saturday, I will talk about MPD. I mean, but I don't know what to. At that point, I'll be Johnny come lately. So, but I'll get into my car tomorrow morning, and I will look on my phone and see who won MPD. So, but I really hope Microsoft wins, because I just don't fathom how they're going to take that news if they lose. So warping from move instead of actually moving on the screen. Oh, okay. Oh, you wrote the two-handed axe. See, I like the sword, and I had the big. Was it the steel shield? That's when I did that. But when I went to the Dark Brotherhood, I had nothing but enchanted stuff for the Dark Brotherhood. I used the Blade of Woe. That's what it was called. It was called the Blade of Woe. And boy, oh boy, I was a murdering fool with that thing. So I used that. I used the bow and arrow. And I also had become a vampire in Oblivion. And being a vampire in Oblivion was a hell of a lot easier than being one in Skyrim. My God, in Skyrim, it was ridiculous. ridiculous in Skyrim. It was a lot better in Skyrim to be a werewolf. So if CA Porter Rock 77 video, do you know who won? Yeah, I'm sure Porter Rock will be one of the first ones to hit it up. So, and I'll be asleep. Like I said, after this podcast, I'm going to sleep. I have to be at work at 7. So, why should they win Guardian Legends? Because they have a new console out. That's why they should win. So, well, thank you, Mr. Sheptop. Appreciate it, sir. So, the more expensive version. Okay. I agree. The Xbox has no exclusives, but it has a new console. So based on how the consoles launch, the new consoles always win their NPD. That's why it should win. Now, if it doesn't win, it doesn't win. So Sneak was OP in Skyrim. NPD does come out later today, apparently. So the real number, not the leak number. So we'll have to see if the leak number is the same as the number that. And you just know if something leaked, if it's not true, you know that leak number, the person that did that is garbage. You don't use them as a source anymore. So, you know, well, Xbox One S, when it came out last year, it won the month it came out. Like Xbox One last year, they won in July, they won August, September, October, and then in November when the Pro came out, the PlayStation won. PlayStation won November, December, January, won pretty much all the way through until the Switch came out. Then the Switch has been winning. And again, the Switch is new hardware. The PlayStation had new hardware with the Pro. So you see how that collates. So in theory, Xbox should win because they got a new console out. So, okay, don't sleep on Gang Beast. All right, that's cool. I appreciate the heads up, man. So, 3 more years. Look, I don't disagree with that. Yeah, look, Microsoft has issues with that with their console, and it's not the console as much as it's the software for the console. I don't disagree with that. So it's and it's a shame because it's like I said, all those now every game that I just named, whether it was the Fallout and stuff like that, those are all multi-plat games. The only game game series that I really enjoyed that was exclusive to Microsoft was Gears of War. All those other ones I enjoyed are multi-plats. But Gears, yeah, that was one of my favorite series too. Yeah, you're right. It's a wait till console. Yeah. But you buy it with the understanding of that. That's you make the early investment understanding that you're going to get awarded or rewarded down the road. And a lot of people, you know, that's that's the way I looked at it. That's the way I looked at it. So, and hopefully, yeah, you're right. Until that E3 comes out and you see the games, they want you to go back and play older games. I mean, that's no bash on Microsoft. I'm the messiah of Xbox. So there's no reason for me to lie. That's a fact. They want you to go back to the store and play Fallout 4, Rise of the Tomb Raider. They want you to go back and replay it with the new look if you have a 4K TV or whatever. So that's what they want to do. Yes, but they're not a game software company, Spartan God. I don't disagree with you, but they do Windows. That's Microsoft's bread and butter. So, I mean, they are look, Microsoft is fighting Google, another tech billion-dollar company. They're fighting Apple, another tech billion-dollar company. So Xbox fighting against Sony and Nintendo, that's an afterthought. Okay? So yeah, Spider-Man, Detroit Become Human. Yeah, all that is coming out next year. So yeah, I agree. It's gonna be brutal for them. So games are software. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and again, but their software is geared more towards the their windows and stuff. That's where they make their bread and butter. That's that's their go-to, okay? That's their short yardage back on 4th and 1. You're going to go to your short yardage back. So, yeah, they're, again, well, they're not as much fighting Samsung as much as they're fighting against Apple and Google. Amazon, not really again. Amazon's a totally different kind of company. So, but again, this is why Disney bought a lot of that property so they could compete with Amazon, because Amazon's making a lot of money off their streaming service. And if you get the Amazon streaming service, they give you like your first, it's like your first purchase, Amazon purchase, they give you like 20% off and something like that. So, you know, there's other companies are cutting in on that. So yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Corey Maxey. That's good advice. Yeah, the software company's trying to kill it with hardware. Yeah, look, to me, there was nothing wrong with the Xbox One S. They just needed more games for it. So that's why you hear a lot of their fanboys jumping up and down for backwards compatibility, because they don't have a lot of new IP. So it's like, oh, we can go back and play these old games. And it's like, well, if I wanted to do that, I'll just get a 360 and I'll go back and play the old games. And then they turn around and say, well, you can't do that if you've got a what? A 4K TV? Most people don't have 4K TVs. Most people don't. I mean, that didn't change. So you can still have your 360 and then have a 1080p TV and you still get a great picture. You know, that, you know, you get the HDMI cable and you get a great picture. Amazon was just books. Yeah, I do remember that. So, yeah, Skyrim is native on the Pro and it's dynamic on the X. Yeah. Yeah, I'm an old man. I remember when Amazon was books. Amazon, hell, they put Barnes and Noble out of business. That's how big. And it's not that Amazon grew. It grew exponentially fast. It's like Netflix. Netflix in 15 years is worth a shit ton of money. It's almost worth as much as Facebook, which has only been around for about 15 years too. So yeah, I do remember that. So any questions about the movie deal? I mean, so Sony's doing their Venom movie, so you can expect that movie out next year. And Disney has bought the Fox Studios property. So, and PUBG right now, that's a disaster. I mean, I've seen that game being played. It's a disaster. So, you know, Sony should have bought Netflix back then and Google. They couldn't have bought Google, Netflix. Yeah, Netflix I could see, but Netflix got off to a real rocky start. So they got off to a real, especially the streaming part. The streaming was garbage. But remember, Netflix used to have movies delivered to you. That's when most people were doing it. So you can still invest in Amazon. So I strongly, well, because I have stock in Disney, and boy, my stocks went up exponentially today. So because of what they did. But again, if you go see these movies, you should buy stock in the companies. You know, that's just, I may do a podcast next year on buying some stock. So, no, yeah, you're right. Shep Top family, Woody Harrelson has been cast. Yeah, that was announced yesterday. They got him yesterday. So, yeah, the Venom movie is, again, it's not, I assume the storyline they're going to do, and this is just me assuming, I think they're going to do the Flash Thompson storyline where he was a war hero or he was a warrior and he got paralyzed and the symbiote binds to him and he can walk and gives him super strength. That's what I think they're going to do. So that's just my opinion, though. So yeah, and that's Sony trying to still make movies. I mean, like I said, they're still trying to find a property, and it's going to be rated R. I mean, so it's they're trying. You know, Sony is competing with Sony, yeah. So Sony's also doing a Robotech movie. Make him evil. Well, I'm not saying that they won't do that. I die. What I think they're going to do, and I said this, I was discussing this earlier. What I think they're going to do is they're going to say, okay, they're gonna experiment with the symbiote. It's going to spawn 2 evil Venoms, and one of those evil Venoms is going to be Maximum Carnage. Then they'll have it bind to either, I don't know if they're going to use the Eddie Brock version of Venom or the Flash Thompson version. I think it's going to be more the mode of Flash Thompson. So, but that's the only way they can explain Spider-Man not being in the movie. That's the only reason why I'm saying that. So, no, it's supposed to be rated R. Is what they're talking. That's the early talk, is that it's rated R. So Sony's competing with PC and Nintendo. Yeah, really nobody is. Brock's confirmed. Okay, yeah, but okay, Mario. That doesn't mean that they can't do the Flash Thompson storyline. Doesn't mean they can't do that Flash Thompson storyline though. So it's called Rent Connie. You're right though. It is Eddie Brock has been confirmed. So Venom, they're trying to make it a new franchise. Yeah, Mr. 1985. It's they're trying to. Again, Sony they don't want to constantly share Spider-Man with Disney. That's like I said, if you really, it's hard to believe, but Spider-Man has already been in 3 Marvel movies. Okay, they did the Homecoming. That was a Marvel movie that was a Sony movie produced by Marvel. They put Iron Man in it. They put Happy in there. He's been in Civil War, and he's going to be in this new Avengers movie that's coming up, Infinity War. So Spawn, that would probably be on Netflix, but yeah, that's possible. They've been talking about that. They've been talking about that, honestly. So y'all just have to follow. You all should follow the trades. Let me give you all somebody who I really follow and I really respect. He calls himself Emergency Awesome, and trust me, the dude is really emergency awesome. Okay, just go to his YouTube. I tell you what, he's got over 2 million subs. All he talks about is comic book movies and stuff, and he is a litany. He's like an encyclopedia. And I really follow his stuff. He really gets you going. So, what you yawning for, Mr. McLeod? I'm gonna be yawning here pretty soon, so I can understand that. Can they make it? Can they just make any shared universe without Spider-Man? Yeah, Mario. They're trying. They have to explain why Spider-Man's not there. So, and the only way, and remember in the comic books with the Flash Thompson storyline, Spider-Man defeated Venom and said, well, I'll leave you alone, but you need to leave the city. And so he went to San Francisco. So that if they do something like that and it's happening in another city, Spider-Man won't be there. So we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. Yeah, Spawn on the TV, on the Netflix, I think that would be cool. So that's something they have not experimented with yet. That would be something they could do. Yeah. Because that Spawn cartoon was garbage. Garbage. So also, I think when Disney put this deal, wasn't that Assassin's Creed movie? Wasn't that by Fox? I can't remember. That movie was so bad. So it was bad. Venom right now is not part of the MCU. So remember, Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man, Venom. They own all that stuff. Oscorp, all that stuff. They own all that, okay? That's not part of Disney. So, and Spider-Man is being shared by both. So, in theory, Disney could make not Disney, Sony could make a Green Goblin movie. In theory, they could do that. Now, I'm not saying they should, and it'd probably be garbage. But, you know. So, but that's just the way it is. Yeah, you know, Microsoft, again, I was around. I'm an old man. I remember when Microsoft was getting going as far as you would walk into stores and Microsoft would have something in there. And it's like, my God, this is phenomenal, you know? So, and I remember using MS-DOS and all that. See, you all get to use Windows. We used MS-DOS, which was like Windows without Windows. Windows didn't come out until 1995. And I know a lot of you all were either not born or were just babies. But when Windows 95 came out, that was revolutionary. We had never seen anything like that before in our lives. The first, I didn't know they made a Silent Hill movie. Oh, the video game I did like. So, yeah, Microsoft does try to control the talent. You're right about that. I don't. Yeah, Prince of Persia was garbage. So, um, yeah, today is like Star Wars Day. You all are. Yeah, I'm happy. I don't want to work. I thought I had today off. So trust me. So FCC just got bomb threat. Yeah, net neutrality. Yeah, that's something that you all got to really look out for too, because they could, in theory, make tiers of internet systems, and the people who are dependent on internet to play their games, i.e., the Xbox, they could be in a lot of trouble because Sony. One of the things we got out of PSX that I did not hear, like I said, I didn't hear a lot of people talk about was that, and I said this yesterday, Sony is committed to single player games. And if you have single player games, you don't need a multiplayer. Okay, you don't need a multiplayer to enjoy. You really think about the games Sony came out with, uh, Persona 5, you don't need multiplayer. Near Automata, there's no multiplayer. Hellblade, there's no multiplayer. Horizon Zero Dawn, there's no multiplayer. So I mean, those are 4 games with probably over 100 hours. Well, hell, Persona alone has over 100 hours of content. So you have close to 250 hours of content amongst those games. No online mode. So it's where's it? You go to Microsoft, everything is geared to being online. So, so yeah, Prince of Persia was just, well, first things first, he is supposed to be Persian, and they cast a white dude in there. Now, what do you think's going to happen to that movie? Ain't nobody going to go see that bullshit. So, if they get rid of net neutrality, yeah. And again, I don't think the first 6 months they'll do anything. They'll just kind of lull you asleep, and then next thing you know, DOS was terrible. Well, we're using it right now. What do you think Windows is? It's DOS with Windows. We're pointing and clicking instead of typing in where we want to go. So yeah, you're right. It was terrible. I tell you what else was terrible was WordStar. See, there was WordStar, there was Lotus, and there was WordPerfect. You all get the autocorrect. I remember when that got invented. I remember when autocorrect was invented. And then you would type in a word, you would type in a slang, it wouldn't recognize it. You had to type the slang into the dictionary. You'd have to save it on a floppy disk. Then you would update your shit, and then you would go give it to somebody else, and they'd give you their stuff. That's what we had to do. That's what we were doing. It was an inconvenience, but it was fun at the same time because we were discovering new stuff. So you haven't seen the Prince of Persia movie, Dad? Yeah, don't watch it. Yeah. Yeah, it had Jake Gyllenhaal. He was supposed to be a Persian prince. Get out of here. You know, so oh, you would smash Ray? Yeah, I would too. A little too skinny for me, but she's cute. So I bet she says she likes grilled cheese sandwiches, so I wouldn't mind doing some grilled cheese sandwiches with her. What's up, Ian? No, I'm not 55. But Microsoft is not an old company, okay? It's not an old company. It is for you all, but that company was like 1982. Apple, Microsoft, they came up at the exact same time. The only thing that you all have seen that rivals it is Google. Google grew at about the same rate that Microsoft and Apple did. But Microsoft and Apple, they were battling each other. I mean, like I said, every month somebody had an announcement because they were trying to one up each other. Bill Gates did not like Steve Jobs. God rest Steve Jobs' soul. But like I said before, the mouse, the drop-down screens, that was all invented by Steve Jobs. The colors on your computer, because computers used to just be a black screen with white numbers. Now it's all colorful and things like that. Steve Jobs brought that into fray. So you're 49. You're older than me. Well, I'm older than you, Ian. I remember turning 31. So you're dick riding, you're digging rate. Okay, well, I understand. So, like I said, she's too skinny for me, but everybody's different. A good single player game. Yeah, that's the way I am, Corey Massey. And the reason why is because you see a lot of the younger people, they grew up with the internet. Okay, I remember playing games on the ColecoVision and in television, and there was no online. That you went out, if you would go beg your mom and dad to get the game, you would get the game, you go play the game. You know, your mom and dad would come in and kind of watch you play. You want to put on a show for them. You got good grades for the next month because they bought you the new game. You kept your room clean for about a month, and then it went back to being a slob. So, you know, yeah, you did not need you don't need a internet to play Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, it's nice to have for the DLC. That would be the only problem is that how do you get your downloadable content if all this shit does happen? Because what I do think is going to happen eventually is I think a lot of people are going to leave the console market, and I think they're just going to go ahead and get PCs. So, look, a friend of mine, he just did his PC. He sold his PlayStation Pro for with all the games. He sold it for $400, and he just sold his Xbox One S and Xbox One X for combined to one person for $600 with 4 games. So he took that money, $1,000. He went up to the Black PC Exchange and he bought the infamous i5 486, whatever it is, 480 GPU. Happy. Now he's happy. So, yeah, except for Hellblade, Corey Massey. Yeah. Yeah, and again, I've said before, I can't fathom coming home, putting on a headset, and calling in the B2 strike. Or saying, I'm going to stay over here in the bush and I'm going to shoot this guy and get one-man army. And then I don't want to do that. But with that said, there's a whole generation of people behind me. That's all they know. They don't know what it's like not to be playing online with their friends. So, you know, that's just a reality. And I think what happened is the groups split apart and Microsoft serves the people who like to play online. Sony does not. Okay, that's not Sony's forte. It's something that they offer. Microsoft, it's their main bread and butter. That's what they do. The Microsoft fanboys do not understand. They can't fathom why the Sony fanboys aren't mad that they don't have great online and stuff like that. The Sony fanboys, you're going to call them that, they can't fathom why the Microsoft people want to come home and put on a headset and play with and do that. You got two different kind of people consuming the same thing differently. And nobody knows how to respect the other person's differences. That's why I've said to you all, walk away from it. That's why I said to you all, I don't want to hear what X, Y, and Z said. I mean, you want to say it in the chat. The chat is public, okay? That's fine. But I don't want to get a direct message from people saying, guess what such and such said in that podcast. I don't care. So, no, Jamaican and British. So you like tea and rum. So yeah, and with PC, that's what I think people are going to do because then, and I also think because of net neutrality, if it does pass, which it looks like it is, a lot of people are going to be getting their landline phones back because there's a lot of people who went away from their phones and they have cell phones, right? Well, I think a lot of people are just going to say, you know what? I'm just going to get my landline phone back again. The people that are going to take the big hit, people that had tablets, they're going to be like, nope, because they're going to be getting rid of, they're going to either have hard lines or they're going to have Wi-Fi. They're not going to do both. So they will not do both. So, yeah, tea and street rum. Now you're talking. Yeah, you're right. America is not a country. It's an idea. So it is an idea. It's just 50 states that come together under one universal government. All America is. I mean, are there any questions about the movie news? I mean, this is huge news. So, yeah, if you game before the internet, you know how to play as far as you know what games to look for. That's why people are like, well, they love Persona 5. They don't have to have the internet for that. You just come home, put Persona 5 in, and you play. That's so, even with Madden, the first Madden game I played on the Sega Genesis, there was no online play. I mean, there was none. So, so when they introduced internet, it was kind of like, well, what's the big deal? If Aliens is owned by Fox, then they own it. But I can't remember who did Alien. Yeah, that was Fox Searchlight, right? Yeah, then they own it. They own it. So, so I think if Alien, I can't remember if Alien was Columbia or if it was Fox. So if it's Columbia, it's owned by Sony because Sony is Columbia's parent company. So. Yeah, a lot of people are going to be playing a lot of those type of games. But how many RPGs can you take? I mean, that was the one thing this generation has brought was games like Horizon Zero Dawn, The Witcher. Those are all great games, but you don't need online to play those games. So that's the people who are going to get hurt are the people who play games online, and that's going to hurt. Especially because your online access will go up. I mean, they could easily say, like Ryan the Professional and Rand Outdoor were saying, they could say, oh, you want access to Xbox Live, you got to pay an extra $40 a month because that's how much you're. Now, there's some other people like Netflix and Hulu. Well, the Hulu thing may be on hold, but Netflix, they already struck a deal. So their internet, if you have Netflix, it will not be affected. They already struck a deal with all of them. So they're going to keep the same speeds. Next gen CPU, okay. No, I'm not. All right, what was I wrong about Apple and Microsoft about? If you're going to file a complaint, have an answer ready. If NPD is officially out, that's fine. So. Well, yeah, developers. Yeah, that's because the developers are able to ship their games not complete. I remember when Grand Theft Auto Vice City launched, it had over 180 bugs in it, but it's still everything. Well, that's not. I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong about everything when it comes to those two companies. So. What about their rival growth? About how Bill Gates and the late Steve Jobs didn't like each other? Which part? So the reason why Halo is on the Xbox is because Bill Gates bought Bungie, right? Guess who went in there before Bill Gates and looked at Halo? Steve Jobs did. Steve Jobs was going to put Halo on the Mac computer. but Bill Gates went in and bought the company. So Apple, as far as what it's worth, its market cap was close to $900 trillion this morning. So well, I was here when all that was going on, but that is the history. Yeah. They both rose up at about the same time. Apple went out of business. Microsoft invested lots of money into Apple. Why do you think you can, if you use a Windows computer, why do you think you can use iTunes? That's an Apple product. Why do you think you can use Safari as a search engine? That's an Apple product. You can undo Google as your primary search engine, and you can put in Safari, which is the primary Apple search engine. That's just the reality. Xbox used to have better single player and multiplayer games. Well, I mean, again, I'm not talking about as far as what's better. I'm simply saying that Apple stole. Well, Apple stole a lot of stuff. So did Microsoft. Windows was an Apple idea. It was not a, it wasn't a Microsoft idea. So. The mouse, though, Apple stole that. Who has better single player and multiplayer games is that is a matter of opinion. Apple and Microsoft mostly do not create anything. Again, Apple created the drop-down screen. Okay, they invented the mouse, but a lot of the stuff came out of their own. Yeah, they have invented a lot of stuff, but they stole a bunch of stuff too. So did Microsoft. So, So yeah, and again, as far as net neutrality, I don't think it'll change overnight. I think it'll be, like I said, I think it'll be 6 months. I think it'll be 6 months. Is it the most searched thing on Google? I mean, Google has a tracking. I mean, you can track to see what's most searched. So, and I don't know why they would brag about that. That's fun. I mean, why Xbox fanboys bragging about the X? Yeah, I don't know why that would be true. But I think, see, my opinion of the X is that even if they lose NPD this in November, because it's Christmas time, I think a lot of people will go out and buy it this month. That's just my opinion, though. So that is just my opinion. Well, Mass Effect, that's a great single player game, but when EA got a hold to it, they started making it more about the multiplayer. Trying to think, some of the first early Xbox 360 games, they were single player games, but it changed. I mean, the model, because Microsoft does not make a lot of its own games, they're at the mercy of the third-party developers. If the third-party developers change the way they're doing things, Microsoft changes what they're doing. That's why Anthem, there's a reason why Anthem was shown on the Xbox, okay? So now PlayStation, they had games like The Last of Us, which is single player, all the Uncharted, which Uncharted does have a multiplayer, but it's not known for it. Okay, it's not known for it. So that, I mean, when I go play Uncharted, I don't care about the multiplayer. So, all right, Tobo player, you're the one that said that everything was wrong, and then you didn't provide any information. You just said they don't invent anything. Well, duh. The X1, okay. Well, remember, like I said, Crap Gamer winning the okay. They won the most searched thing on Google. Okay, well there are probably people probably don't believe it's $500. I don't know. That's cool. So The Uncharted multiplayer, that's cool. See, I've never played the Uncharted multiplayer, never. So there's just no reason for me to play it. So, but again, they look at it like we have to keep you hooked in, and Sony and all of them, they see Microsoft, they see how much money Rockstar is making off of Grand Theft Auto. I mean, they're making a ton. I mean, they're printing money over there. So, yeah, Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. Yeah. Yeah, Jade Empire. Those are some, yeah, those are, but see, those were all BioWare games. And BioWare got bought by who? EA. EA turned around and butchered the Mass Effect series because they want it to be more about the online play. Even to this day, even though they're not supporting Mass Effect, supporting the online. That's what they're supporting. So, honey hot sauce, you're an old man. All right. Yeah, GTA Online has content people want to play. Well, yeah, they've done a good job on it though. But and my point is that EA sees that they want something similar. That's why Anthem is. There's a reason why the game Anthem is aligned with Microsoft. And if Anthem, if they don't come out with a single player game, it's not going to sell well. It will not sell well. It could be the most beautiful looking game ever created, but if all you're going to do is go home and put on a headset, that people will be mad. We can just play Monster Hunter. At least with Monster Hunter, you can play that in a single player mode to help build your character up, or you can all go in together. That to me makes more sense than just playing online, but that's my opinion. So, but the Xbox guy, you see how he talks? They weren't on PlayStation, so you know, not a single first party title there. Yeah. See, he's more concerned about what's not on something else because they're not about the games, they're about bragging. So yeah, OG Xbox was way better. Well, what made it way better? I mean, PlayStation had more games. That's fine, honey hot sauce. Let them brag about the power. Okay, it's I mean, again, it is the most powerful console ever made. So, you know, that's been in consumers' homes. So, but we're still, yeah, MPD. We're MPD should be out here in the next 3 to 4 hours. So we're gonna find out if more power is truly what people were after. So we're gonna find out because the PlayStation is weaker. It's a weaker console. So you said PlayStation had Xbox had better games by default because they couldn't run on the PS2, so they had more. Yeah, well, again, Xbox launched with the OG Xbox with a bunch of exclusive games. That's why when they say exclusives don't matter, I call BS on it because the Xbox was built on original titles. It was built on original content and titles. So, yeah, that's too bad. Well, again, the Xbox One S, yeah, I recommend that to anybody. If you got a 4K TV, I recommend the Xbox One S because you're going to play the exact same games, and it does 4K streaming. It does UHD Blu-ray if you want to watch movies in UHD Blu-ray. So it's all there. It does the same thing. So, so we could use more story expansions to make the image. Well, they're not. Yeah, EA Mario. They're not. They there is no more Mass Effect at all with EA. None whatsoever. So they're done with it. So that is they killed that franchise. They're working on Anthem, and Anthem is their shot. Is their Hail Mary. So Anthem is Microsoft's Hail Mary. So well, not Microsoft. It's EA's Hail Mary. I'm sorry. So I can use headphones playing 360 Red Dead. Yeah, it's available. What's good there, Mr. Powell? They should sell their IP or BioWare as a whole. Yeah, I certainly, yeah, look, when BioWare first got bought by EA, that was right before Mass Effect 2 launched, and they were able to incorporate the Gears of War cover system in Mass Effect 2. It did make the combat a lot smoother, but EA changed a lot of stuff. That's why there was so much DLC. Also, what EA did to Mass Effect 3 was the Prothean DLC. They cut that out and made BioWare sell that as separate DLC. That's when, to me, the greed took over at EA. So the greed took over. So Xbox guy, there have been plenty of Xbox people online saying exclusives don't matter, they don't sell, so forth and so on. Period. That's been put to rest. So yeah, it's officially dead. What do you mean? They're not doing it? Is officially dead, or they, you know? You were born. Okay, man, you all are still talking about that. Who cares where somebody was born? So let's see here. And let's see if we can pull up if exclusives don't matter. Oh shit! Did somebody already pull the link? Well, then maybe I don't have to. Then cool. Cool beans. They voted to kill Net and they won. Well, when you say it's officially dead, that does that mean they're going to institute it or they're not going to institute it? That's my question. I didn't ask it very well the first time, I guess. So either we're going to get net neutrality or it's going to stay the same. Is it staying the same or is it changing? So let's see here. Well, let's see here. Yeah, I see what he's talking about. Phil Spencer also said people don't care about 60 FPS. I didn't think he liked exclusive content, but see here. Yeah, I didn't think Phil Spencer liked exclusive content, but it's been a lot of the fanboys have been putting up stuff. Exclusives don't matter, they don't sell well, blah blah blah. So so yeah, it says Spencer is dedicated to opening the Xbox platform up as much as possible. Blah blah blah. Business practices are changing and needs to change. Yeah, pretty much. I know he doesn't the hypocrisy came out of him when he said he doesn't like exclusive like DLC, but his company had paid for to be exclusive to their platform for 1 year or something like that. So he did say, yeah, it was a little bit hypocritical. But the fanboys were the ones coming up on Twitter saying, well, it only sold this many on a 40 in a console install base that has 50 million people. And I mean, that's what they were saying. So, you know. So Now I'm just waiting for the chat to catch up. So. Look up Apple's history. Okay. Okay, so if we lost it, I give up. To me, either things are going to change or they're going to stay the same. Are they changing or are they staying the same? Yes, Apple does make new products. I should not have had to explain that to anybody. Any company that makes a new product is going to be worth more. So 404 forbidden. Ugh. That means the link is broken, right? Oh, it is changing. So, oh, I understand what it is. I just people keep on saying we're losing it. It's like, okay, are things going to stay the same or are they going to be different? If it's going to be different, that means we didn't. That means that net neutrality is going to be out. So, but I get it. Well, the Xbox One is fine. It's fine. I mean, it's got an ecosystem, and I get what people are saying. Though, look, I have an Xbox One X, I have an Xbox One S, I have a PlayStation. PlayStation's ecosystem. If you're into newer experiences, you're going to get new content, a lot of new content. That's what you play. Xbox, they want you to go backwards and play a bunch of old games. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Like I said, I played Mass Effect on my Xbox. I mean, that game's over 10 years old. So it just is two different kind of people consuming the media. So, okay, so the FCC did scrap it. Okay. Soup textures on PUBG. Nobody. People were saying that yesterday, but I mean, again, PUBG, that's a disaster. I mean, I certainly hope it gets better. I'm happy that the people that bought it are enjoying it. But all these people running around saying the beast is coming and PlayStation owners were afraid of it. That game is running 15 frames per second. I mean, so those people need to get the you know what out of here. Just go on somewhere. So. Shout out to Lamont Tansermore. If I said your name right, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. So, new sub. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, we feel the true power of 15 frames per second. Yeah, again, people aren't making fun of PUBG. PUBG is immensely successful. They're making fun of the people who said that this Xbox X was going to be a game changer, and it's not. I've got one. I've seen the games. It is not a game changer. So it does a little bit more. That's what it does. So, that's all I can say. I mean, I'm not knocking it, but it does a little bit more. So, yeah, I did hear them say soup textures on PUBG. Yeah. So, one dev said the X GPU is on par. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what a 1080 is. So but something called a GTX is going to be more powerful than something calls itself Xbox. So feel true exclusives. Yeah, they don't have any. But again, and that's what I try to tell people. Well, Xbox guy, we won't play it on PlayStation until it gets fixed. I mean, they're not going to put a game out in that condition. So yeah, Gears of 4 does look insane. I agree 100%. So Gears looks good. So does Shadow of War, but Gears should look good. It's a first-party IP. So that's not a surprise. Oh, that's right. There is a Sea of Thieves. I'll be at work, so I'll be trying not to fall asleep. So, but Time is 1:30. Okay. So, and hopefully they show the 4K chickens tonight. So. So that is, y'all are just too much. So yeah. Oh well, net neutrality. So we'll have to see what changes. So, but my suggestion to all you cats that play games online a whole bunch, you all better get ready, because that to me is big news. So I mean, I don't have to play anything online. That's the cool thing, is the games that I have, I don't need online to play them. I can just come home and plug it up and go. So so yeah, all those yeah. So yeah, y'all are just too much. Still no MPD numbers, so I can tell you that much right now. Yep. So they can, in theory, say, okay, for this tier of internet, we're going to charge you $50. For this tier, we're going to charge you $90. For this tier, we're going to charge you, and a lot of people are going to get rid of it. But I think that's what the powers that be want. They don't want, because the internet is the wild, wild west, the way we can get information. They can't control the masses when you have access to that kind of information. So yeah, the Xbox fans have been lashing out. They're like the DCEU fans, guys. Look, when DCEU, when they declared the Justice League a bomb, I mean, they just declared it one of the biggest flops of the year. The DC people started lashing out and attacking people. Ever since PUBG came out and said it was going to be 30 frames per second, the Xbox community has been lashing out at people. That's why I said to people, it's funny. So who works at MPD? Well, again, yeah, Robert McLeod, there was a leak, but it's not official. It's not official until MPD comes out and says, here are our numbers. And as people are waiting on I don't know why you guys are waiting on the real numbers. The numbers will be the numbers. But yeah, the numbers should come out today, like this evening, or they'll come out tomorrow morning or something like that. So I heard they were coming out today. So well, they don't have soup textures in every game. So so yeah, PUBG is a multiplayer. Yeah, I know. They're yeah, OBJ, look, they're bragging more about what it's not about the game, it's about them having something that you don't have. That's where everything is stemming from with them. And once you figure that out, you can predict what they're going to say next. I mean, you literally can. So yeah, the guy who works in it. Well, I think he worked at a company that uses MPD. So I think that's what he did. So, you know. Yeah, I know. PS4 got no games. I know. So and see what he just put right there, Xbox guy. He's doing that to trigger a fight with somebody. So, and what you need to do is just like, all right, whatever. Because you can anticipate they're going to say stuff like this. So, and it's going to be more stuff like that if they do lose MPD. I mean, I don't, like I said, I'm pretty neutral on MPD. I never blocked him. I did strip him of his mod status. So, but I don't block people. So I haven't blocked anybody. So, I mean, I actually asked Halo Storm to come back because people had blocked him and were ganging up on him. And I was the one that told you all what, man, just back off of him. He's just a kid. So, but then he got into the multiplayer podcast and he wanted to chuck, jive, and sing and dance for his master. And he paid for that. And so it's here. It was fun. He can be here. I don't have an issue. I don't have a personal issue with him. but he is not going to be a mod here. He's just a kid. So, who vouched for Halo Storm? I can't remember. It doesn't matter now because he doesn't have it. So, yeah, I dive another little thing right there. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. Well, see, Savage Uger, that's exactly what he wants you to get into with him with. You should anticipate him saying that. So it's like, again, it's like the DCEU fanboys. As soon as they declared the DCEU it imploded, Ben Affleck's not going to come back as Batman after the next movie, all that stuff started coming out. It all came out last week. The group of people that lashed out was the DC fans. They started lashing out. And you see when PUBG, which was supposed to be their baby, it was going to be the game that sold the, they had a killer app, whatever you want to say. And it turned out not to be true as far as like I said, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. You've seen the game. They're lashing out. They're the ones lashing out. So, which is funny. And so that one guy last week on Twitter was saying, well, Destiny 2 is native 4K on the Xbox and it's checkerboarded on the PlayStation 4. I said, yeah, that's right. And how's that DLC that's out right now? How is that 4K on your Xbox too? The guy didn't say nothing else. The crickets, because they don't have access to the DLC. So how are you going to claim you got the best version of the game when you don't even have the whole damn game? Okay, if I want to play that whole game, front and back, top to bottom, I have to have it on the PC or have it on the PlayStation. And that was the end of the argument. There's nothing left to say. I have access, you don't have it. No, you don't have to block Halo Storm, and I'm not going to mod him. So, but he's not going to get blocked. It's like that other guy that always was trying to comment, Gamer UK, something like that. He's not blocked. He says stupid stuff, but that's him. He can, it's freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want. So, you took an L on the expansion. I'm not playing the game. I'm not playing Destiny at all. But my point to him was, they're going to claim the game is, I said the game is 4K native. That's great. So it's the better version. Oh, just like Skyrim is 4K native on the PlayStation. Also, I put also in parentheses, oh, how is that DLC on Xbox? Is it in 4K native as well? And the guy didn't say nothing else because they got no DLC. So, yeah, that guy, I die. I mean, he's not blocked. It's just eventually they're trying to make their argument based on emotion, and they're being hit with fact after fact after fact, and eventually you can anticipate what they're going to say. Like, I know everything Halo Storm is going to say before he says it, literally. So, I mean, it's like him saying, well, they don't have any games. Well, you should know PlayStation has more games than Xbox does. Now, that if he wants to say that, now that's a difference in saying that the games on Xbox, if he feels the games that are on the Xbox are better, that's his opinion. He has a right to his opinion. Okay? But the fact is, Sony has more games. That's a fact. So you move on. Am I going to PSX next year? No, I'm going to actually go to Comic-Con next year, though. So, what's up, Mr. Jackson? Yeah, I will go to Comic-Con next year. I don't know what a snowflake is to this day. I don't know. But does anybody have any more movie news? Like I said, Sony is making the Venom movie. They've cast Woody Harrelson in it, and they've got Tom Hardy. Xbox news, the PUBG thing. PUBG's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. So, but, I hope the people that bought it are enjoying it, and I hope they can fix it. But, 15 frames per second, that's terrible. Disney has bought the Fox Studio properties, and so that is the X-Men, The Simpsons, The Gifted, all this stuff, that was on FX, FXX, all that is now underneath the Disney umbrella. So shout out to those guys for doing that. So all right, Xbox has more games in their store than PlayStation. Okay. So okay. So that's all good. As long as there's games in the stores, that's all we're gamers, and that's all that counts, Halo Storm. See how I handle that? Very easy. So, if you all don't take bait when it comes to these fanboys and you just say, here is your fact, if here's your fact, you got to take it or leave it. So, yeah, Chris Cobra, all those games were good games. It's a shame we don't have a Sunset Overdrive or whatever it is, 2 and a Rise 2. And, we're going to get a Gears game, I'm sure. And we're getting a new Ori game. So that's cool. More to offer. Yeah, there you go. Be more, practical there, Honey Hot Sauce. I got you. All right, then, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here because I have to be at work in like 5 hours. So, so I will get out of here, and good luck on MPD. Whoever wins it. Like I said, I'll be back on Saturday. I'm gonna go check out that Star Wars movie, guys. Go check that out. Hearing nothing but good things about it, and it's making a lot of money tomorrow evening. So you guys take it easy. This has been Craig Harris, the Messiah of Xbox. Appreciate you guys being here. Take it easy. And remember, if you go out tonight, wear white. Peace.